Hello everybody, this is a tutorial on how to route audio from different Windows 10 programs into separate channels on your Tascam Model 12. At the moment, the Tascam Windows Device Manager drivers only allow you to route audio to a stereo in and stereo out. Okay, so now to download the programs that we need. So these are the programs: the Tascam ASIO driver, ASIO Link Pro, and ASIO Pro Patcher. Okay, let's go to the website. So let's go to the download the Tascam ASIO drivers. So once you download that, you go and download ASIO Link Pro. So here's a bit of history of the program. So unfortunately, the original coder has passed away. So with the help of his nephew and other programmers, they were able to reverse engineer and create a patcher. So you click on here, download the program, and here is the patcher. Originally, this program was a paid program, but now it's free for the public. Now that everything's downloaded, so let's install the ASIO Tascam drivers first. You should read this and so on. No need to launch, or you can if you want. So this thing pops up. It's not connected at the moment. It's not turned on. Okay. Now down to this. Yes. And this thing, so select this. If you don't, then it only creates 4 devices. I suggest click this to make 16 and then disable the ones that you don't need. I agree. Install. Next, and then don't launch yet. We need to patch it first. So open the patcher folder, extract it. So yes again. So everyone will be familiar with this type of application. So I'll patch the both 32 and the 64. So now that everything is patched, go to Windows Control Panel and go to Sound. And you'll notice that after installing the ASIO Link Pro drivers, he has created some virtual inputs. So remember I said click 16, there's 16, so 16 all those. And if there was playback and then recording, there will be another 16 created. And I'll show you the relevance about it later. One thing I forgot to add is this. So when you click on the double click the speakers, go to advanced. I usually make it all universal, so 24-bit and 48K. The sample rate in the bit depth. So that is the maximum that the Tascam will allow. So let's keep it consistent. So for the speaker in and for all the other speakers that you are going to use, and the same with the mix out as well. So advanced, keep it the same 2-channel 24-bit 48 Hz. Okay, so now that you keep that in mind, now let's launch ASIO Link Pro. When you open up, this thing pops up, and settings here. So sample rate, I keep it with the maximum that the Tascam allows, so 48 Hertz. Buffer size, you can change it. At the moment, I'm keeping it ASIO preferred. And the channels in out, remember the Tascam Model 12 has 12 in, so let's select that so we can utilize all the channels. And the out, in the menu it says 10 out, but it's actually 11 and 12 I've selected because 11 and 12 for the Tascam is the stereo sub out that utilizes this program. Once everything is all good, you click start, and then you pick the driver. So this here, so I'll pick the model mixer. Usually, if you run for the first time, this thing will pop up automatically. Okay, so once that reload again. So let's do a quick. Looks pretty intimidating. Okay, get rid of this because this I do a quick run through. So okay, so these ASIO Pro speakers in is a reference to these. Remember, it's 1 2 1 2 1 2. So it's speaker 01, the first two, speaker 2, next two. And sometimes if you change the speaker, for example here, it's like quad, and so 5.1 surround sound in your thing. So if you change that, for example, if you have four speakers, you know, and if you configure, it will be 1 2 3 4 sets of 4 instead of 2 because it's at the moment it's set to stereo. Okay, and this part is the actual inputs, physical inputs on the mixer. So channel 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So that reference to the actual mixer. For example, if I plug a microphone in the channel 3 or here, that is, it will come up through here. And this part, if you, for the time being, let's ignore it. It's only used if you want to route the signal to your DAW, like Cubase, Pro Tools. So this area, yeah, ASIO driver out mix is the actual channel strip. So for example, number 1, so the location for this is here. I'll change the angle. It goes to this area. And this part, don't worry about this. We're not gonna use it. So now, also before we move on, so the ASIO Pro, so these two, the 1 2 1 2, it's references to the mix out. Okay, mix out is 1 1 2, number 2, number 2 here, 3, and so on. Okay, so now that you want to route some programs to each channel. Well, let's, for example, the VLC. So I've got some so at the moment it's playing through my speakers, my Realtek. So now you need to route VLC player to speaker 1. Speaker 1, for example. Let's keep it easy. Let's just route channel 1 to fader 2 and so on. So you go to, again, to the sound here, right mouse click, open sound settings. This thing should come up. Scroll down to advanced sound options. Yep, in the VLC player. At the moment it's to root tick. Now let's route it to speaker 1. Remember, speaker 1 is this thing here. Now that it's routed, you can close this or whatever. Now that, remember, it's speaker 1 here. Now to the route to your faders. This is how you do. So you just click on one and you just drag a line. There was no playing. Now you have signal coming in. And I think signal coming in now. Now to get the sound to your mixer. Now let's set up the mixer to receive the signal. So this is my settings. So I'll go down to menu, go to system, USB audio. I set it to multi-input. Exit. Let's check the meters. There's no signal. So then I'll send it to channel 1, turn this to PC, and now we have signal. Now simply just engage to the mains and sub. I have a speaker plugged to the mains and the sub, so then the fed's up. So let's go to the sub first. To the mains. Now that we're getting sound to the speaker, so let's do a quick summary. So we were setting VLC, setting it to speaker 1. Let's remember speaker 1 is this one. And then from speaker 1 goes to the channel strip, those channel strip 1, and then it goes through the normal, the rest of the channel to the stereo mix, and then the main faders to speaker. And if you want to put another program, a second program, you can repeat the same thing. You can put it application and then send it to speaker 2 and then send it to here, and then it will come out into the speaker. Alternatively, you can for example, this is a stereo channel. You can do this and have this to the left and this one to the right. And to delete, just click left mouse click and it would go away. And that pretty much sums up the process of sending audio from your Windows program to the mixer to the speakers. The next section will be the recording. So this section will show you how to, the general idea of how to route the audio for recording. In particular to OBS. Of course, you can apply the same principles to Audacity and other programs. Just note that I haven't figured out how to send the audio to your DAW using this program. So now we need to receive the audio into mix 01, which is reference to here. So the first two. Of course, you can do number 2 here, you can send to here, up to you. So let's go, make it easier, let's go 1 to 1. and you see signal now. And if you want to make a stereo, you just send it to both. Send it to both. Now let's go to OBS. Let's go add the capture device. Let's name it this stereo mix 1. Look for it in the mix 1. So let's turn it down. Yeah, so just keep in mind with this method. Let's bring it up, change the scenes. Keep in mind that when I change the faders, when I move the faders, it will not affect the audio. Even the main faders, it will not affect the audio. So you can hear it here and now. It will not affect it. This will not affect it. The reason why that the faders did not affect the level that you were hearing, it is because let's go to here. So this is what happens when you route it. So we got to the channel 01, so we hit here, and when we sent it to the mix 1, this is where the signal goes. So from here, it skips all this and goes straight to the mixer 1. So it skips the rest of the channel, the faders, and you notice that there are 3 lines coming out. In the settings, so I'll quickly switch to that. So to determine where the signal can be sent from, just go to menu and then go to mixer, USB send point. So see for channel 1, so you can go to pre-compressor, post-compressor, or post-EQ. So the settings refer to this. So where do you want the signal to be sent out from? So the first option was pre-compressor. So it was here, the compressor sends out straight to here. And then you got to select, up to you. In application wise, when would you want to do that? You would, for example, if you're streaming on OBS and you can technically send a signal to one of the OBS channel recordings, so maybe channel 3 and 4, and you have a raw audio, so you can edit it in post. So before we move on, what happens if you had like a microphone or any other instruments connected to actual physical mixer? This is how you see the signal. So I have a test tone connected to channel 6. So I'm gonna turn it on now. And on the Tascam meters, you can see it, signal going through. Just make sure that is switched to live. And so it's coming through 6. And then we route it to, and now you can see. Now see me adjusting the gain, and you can see that it fixes. And with this program, you can route the signal out to different feathers as well. So you look at the meters when I send it out. Channel 7, it goes, you see the meters there. Channel 5, you can send it to whatever. I'm not sure what the application this one will be, but something to keep in mind. If someone figured out how to incorporate this, then it could be something handy. Just keep in mind that any physical inputs that is routed to mix 1, the feathers will not affect it as well. So in summary, the first way of recording, you go VLC, and then it routes. So it's the same deal with the microphone to gain, and then it gets routed, sent through. So you get to pick on the settings when the signal gets sent. It goes to mix, and it is useful to recording a separate channel on OBS and do for post editing. So this is option 2, where the feathers, either the channel feather or the main feathers, will affect the actual signal of the recording. So you notice in here that 11 and 12 is actually the mix pass for the mixer, and you notice that this signal here, sometimes you may not see it. So it is 2 reasons for it. One, if there's no physical connection linked, then you see nothing, even though there may be signal going through into here. So if you want to see, so see, I connect. See, you see signal here. And sometimes if let's change this angle. If the mains or sub are not engaged, you may not see it as well. So I engage the sub, there's nothing. And if you're only using if your speaker is only connected to the subs, to see the signal, you would have to press to the mains and then turn that up, and then you'll be able to see. If it's just domains, you'll see. Now that we have signal, so let's just connect it so the PC can collect the sound. So we just have to connect here to here. And now let's route the audio to mix 2, which is this one here. So mix 2, let's go left on 11 and the right. So let's take a look at the signal path. So we send it here. So 11 and 12 it's here. And then there's a few buttons that on the mixer to determine where the signal gets sent to or sent from. So there's a main feather. So now that the signal is getting routed through, so let's go to OBS. So add simply audio input. This goes stereo mix 2. probably hear the music now. So let's change scenes. Let's quickly add this again. You notice that the fader is down here. It does not affect the level, but you can, it probably affects just what you're hearing now. The reason for it is the post mix button here. So this is not engaged. So this, what happens is it tells the signal to go before or after the main faders. So let's, for example, engage this. You probably hear no sound now. If I turn it up, you can hear it now. Here, turn it up. Nothing. But if I turn the faders down, you hear nothing. See, now if I turn this up, nothing, because the faders is down. Turn it up. Engaged in the post mix, post record. So if I turn it up, you can hear it. And then if I turn it down, you cannot hear it. And you can see it in the levels as well. So here, so this is the buttons here. So you can go post. It's a post recording, not engaged, so it skips the main fader. And then if it's engaged, it goes after the red fader. A quick side note, if you, for example, if you don't have your speakers connected to the mains, but through the sub mix, for the sub mix here. So to get the audio, so I had, so this is called connected. So let's hide this first. It's a bit confusing. So yeah, now that, so we're still getting signal from so for example, it's engaged in sub, and then you still may not hear now when I turn it up. Turn it up, still nothing. So you need to engage to the main feds, and now you'll probably hear some audio. And just note that if you engage in the post mix, and if this is down, then there's no audio coming through. Just disengage this, or you can, if you want to engage, you just turn this up and that's the signal. And the application for this is if you're streaming and you need to, you have a whole bunch of stuff connected, like the game, your microphone, Spotify, and so on. Instead of, you can press the mute button and it just like shuts everything off instead of going mute, 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 mute. And that's pretty much it with the revised version. After reading the block diagram, any questions, leave in the chat. And once I figured out how to route the audio to your DAW, I will make one or link one up. Any questions, leave it in the comments, and I hope to hear from you soon. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope this was informative.